Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's Jack. This is JTH Books. And I posted my last video. I said maybe I'll do another one. I guess we are. Well, if you've seen this, I guess it's gone up, but it might not. Oh god, that was a lot. Anyway, I posted my queer and one middle grade book recs, so I thought I'd give you some adult literary fiction queer book recommendations because it's 2022. I've read some corkers this year, but they're not all from this year, but we'll go along. So let's go. First up, we have Here Again Now by Ukachukwu Nzalu, which is my favourite book, one of my favourite books. I read this the first this year, 2022. I got the proof copy. This is the finished copy. It is absolutely brilliant. It is so gorgeously written. The author said they wrote this book from their soul, and you can feel that. You honestly can. It is unbelievably wonderful. It's about two British Nigerian men who can't quite admit their feelings for each other. But on the night they're so close, something happens. Oh, I don't want to spoil it. Something happens and the rest goes on from there. It's just, it deals with vulnerability and masculinity and grief and, oh, it's brilliant. It's so beautifully written. Made me cry quite a few times. Told you I'm a cry. So I cannot recommend this one to you enough. It will tug at the heartstrings. It's tender. You won't forget this one for a long time. Next up, we have Lie With Me by Philippe Benson, translated by Molly Ringwald. I love this book. I think it, gets compared to some other books, which we won't name, and I think this stands on its own. It's about two teenagers in France that fall in love and then they separate, and the ending broke me. This made me cry. There's some other books out there that people say make me cry and I don't get, but this one did make me cry. You might have heard this one, you might not. It's been around, but I don't think it gets the love it deserves. So definitely, please. Then we have Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. Let's talk about this cover. How stunning is that cover? It is absolutely beautiful. And so is the book. It's set in two timelines. You follow, I can't remember the name. Lee, as she is in a submarine on an expedition that goes wrong. And then you follow Lee when she comes back. And you see her trying to... Oh. Next up, we have Our Wives Under the Sea by Julia Armfield. Look at that cover. It is absolutely stunning. It's just come out, this book, so if you're looking for a new release, definitely pick this one up. It's set in two timelines. It's set in a while back when Lee, one of our main characters, has gone on an expedition under the sea and something goes wrong. And then you follow her when she comes back and her wife as they are trying to restart their lives together, basically. And this one feels tight and it feels like you're drowning a little bit, to be honest. I know that sounds so weird to say about it, but it does, and it's so brilliant, and it creeps towards this ending, which I'm not going to spoil for you, but when it gets there, it's the kind of book that only works as a book. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant, this one. It really is. I'm sure you've all heard this one. Pulitzer Prize winner for fiction, man. This Is Less by Andrew Sean Greer. I love this book. I know some people really love this book or don't like this book at all. I fall in the love category. And I think that narrative twist at the end, I just thought was genius, brilliant. Oh, I can't remember his name. Oh, Arthur Les. I think he's a character you can't help but fall in love with. And you should check this one out. Obviously, if I'm recommending, this is a recommendation video. God, I keep saying you should check this out, but obviously it's a recommendation, isn't it? I think you should check them all out. I don't know why I keep saying that. Next up, we have The Prophets by Robert Jones Jr. One of the best books I've ever read. I think this book is brilliant. I know my friend Simon Savage, he loves this book. I saw him do his interview with Robert on Waterstones, but it is about two slaves that are in love before they know the meaning of what it means to be queer. And I love how in this book you meet all the other characters through their connection or their opinion to their love story. And I think it's genius. It made me cry. That's what I should call my channel, books that made me cry. Yeah, it really is one of my favourites. It is so, so, so beautiful. And I had bought a signed copy. That's how much I loved it. I was going to say check it out again, but yeah, check it out. Then we have Swimming in the Dark by Thomas Jodorowsky. This is like a quiet hit, I think. It's really tender and it's really subtle and it's really... You're not sure you're in it until... Well, I was going to say you cry, but you do cry. It's set in Poland in the 1980s and it's about two fellas who meet and fall in love, and then being the place and the time sets them apart and things happen and they can't be together, and it's a really beautiful, quiet love story, and I think it's one of the ones that stays with you long after you finished it, even though maybe you didn't think it would. I didn't think it would, but it is one I recommend to everyone. In this book we follow Jesse, who becomes a sex worker after leaving home, leaving his Jehovah's Witness religion. And it is a really gripping, tender story. And it's also a love story. It's a lot of this one, and I had high hopes for this one, and I actually think it exceeded them. It really made me think. It did exceed them, and it made me realise that, and this is probably one of my favourite books, Talking to You Now, it's made me realise I really love this book. And I'm due for a reread because I have forgotten some things that happened, and I want to read it again. But I know it's beautiful, I know it was heartbreaking, it obviously made me cry. And so definitely check this out. So I hope you enjoyed that video, I hope you enjoyed these books. Let me know if you love them, I'm pretty sure you will. Don't tell me if you don't. But also doing these videos made me realise I've got a lot of books to read, a lot of queer books on my shelves to read. So I'm going to go crack on with that. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the books.